What's up, guys? Heart Pirates TCG here. What I'm bringing you is I have some matches from my students that I coach. They wanted me to spectate these games and just tell me kind of where they went wrong. Now, I have talked to both of them about these matches, and I've kind of told them what I think. Stop it, Baxter. And and I just wanted to make this video because there's a lot of like small mistakes that people can make, whether it be with Sakazuki and Purple Luffy, which is another video that we're gonna review today. And it's just these small things that make you like lose a lot of tempo or a lot of card advantage or something along those lines. And I'll try to point them out and try to say exactly why I think that you should have done differently. So this is, of course, with the blessing of my students. They said that I absolutely can use this footage for videos. So shout out to my boy Nanagu and Yonko for letting me use their clips. So without further ado, looks like obviously this is an easy mulligan here. You don't have any starting hand. You still don't have any starting hands, unfortunately. And cool. And yep, so right here, of course, right off the bat, it's best to use your leader effect first and discard the Tashigi just to see what you're gonna get. I believe he used the Great Eruption if I'm mistaken. Nope, that's good. I don't know if he actually used the Great Eruption or not. I think this is where he plays the Toy Soldier. So right here, guys, honestly, it's best not to try to hoard stuff in your hand, and just because that he needs to be able to find answers, if he, like, I would just use one of the Great Eruptions just to see what I'll get, because if what he does right here is he plays the Toy Soldier. Obviously he's about to play it as soon as I unpause it right here, but if he cannot find any combo pieces, it doesn't matter if he has the the reduction or not. You just need to be able to find your pieces, and by just playing the Toy Soldier, like the Toy Soldier obviously can get Gadatsu, it can get Thunderbolted. There's just a lot of stuff that could happen to it, and you're just not going to get the full value of it. Like, it's a better play to play even double Great Eruption rather than play Toy Soldier here, because Toy Soldier you can always just use the turn of, and it's likely that he's not going to be able to use that. He's not even going to get the effect off. Or it'll be a waste if he does try to get it off. Let's see if he does this right. Still, like, and the thing is too, like, look at these Great Eruptions too. Like, how, you know how I said in the beginning of the game I'd use the Great Eruptions to be able to like cycle your deck. Like, these Great Eruptions have been sitting in his hand for like 4 turns like in a row, and they're just providing him like no value right now. But what would provide him a lot of value right now is like a Lucci, or like, you know, a Houndblaze, or, you know, something along those lines. So, like, you know, these are great cards, don't get me wrong, but like if they just sit in your hand, like the Great Eruptions, you know, and you're not cycling your deck and you're not like finding the answers you need, because right now he's one combo piece away, and if he can just like keep digging with his deck, with like the Great Eruptions and like his leader effect and like obviously brand new, he's gonna be able to find his pieces, and then like this Rebecca becomes live, and like, you know, so on and so forth. But right now he just like doesn't have any like pressure, because he just doesn't have any like pieces. He doesn't have any combo cards. So that's why I say to use the Great Eruption early, if you have pretty much absolutely no plays, which in the beginning of the game all he had was 2Ks and like a Mihawk, and like I think a Rebecca. So like he just didn't have any plays at all. And then right here, guys, he discards. So right here, he discards the Tsuru, right? So the Tsuru is probably the worst card to discard here, because right now he has no answers. He knew he was going to be drawing into that Borsalino right there, right? But right now he has absolutely no answers if they attack going tall with this Ohm, this Holy, and this leader. So like his last 2K, he just ditched. And since he ditched that, he's going to have a lot of pressure going into his life, and he's going to have no way of stopping it. He doesn't even have any way of removing this, is the thing. Like, he literally doesn't have access to Houndblaze or Lucci or anything like that. So, like, even if he, like, plays brand new to dig for a Lucci, he's not going to have the Dawn to be able to, like, pop anything. Yeah, it's just a really bad spot. And of course, right here, he can also just play Rebecca and play the Hina from hand and get back a 2K counter. But he doesn't do that, and he decides to play the Great Eruption now that he doesn't have the Dawn for it. And of course, if he would have played that earlier, that Great Eruption a turn earlier, this Borsalino would have been the next card in his life. I'm sorry, in his thing. So he could have just gone ahead and played brand new and played Borsellino the 4 cost, and then he could have just passed, and he would have been in a relatively good spot, especially with 2/2Ks in his hand with double Tsuru and 3 life. But it's just because he was like 1 card short in his deck, he just wasn't able to make it happen. So there's a lot of things he could have done differently here. A lot of times too, like you'll see, like you can check out your hand and be like, okay, I have a really good late game. How do I get to that point, right? And like that's why like even that Great Eruption right there is a little bit of a waste, because like you could have just played the Rebecca to establish a blocker, and then like the Rebecca could have just like gotten back another 2K from your trash, or you could have just like played the Hina from your trash, and then like just hard played it, and you could have had, you know, not only, you know, ulti on field. Oh, right there. Hold up. So not only if he did the Rebecca right there instead of the Great Eruption, but he would have had ulti on the field as well as a Hina and a blocker. So of course, whenever he goes for the Borsellino play the next turn, the 7 cost to bottom deck, then he can obviously swing into this Holy 3 times because he has Hina, ulti, and his leader, and that's most likely going to die. And then he can just bottom deck the Ohm and get a lot of pressure off, which is really helpful. And then of course the next turn is the Mihawk. So like whenever you have like a big hand like that, your whole goal is just to be able to like be relatively healthy so you can play into these cards and then be able to like almost like live and be healthy enough to be able to play them safely, right? Because like if your hand is really like really late game, if you can get to your late game, you're gonna win, right? But if you can't get to your late game, like that's how late game decks lose, is like they just get tempoed out early, and like they have like 1 life by the time they drop like a Mihawk, right? That's not like a good strategy. And then also, like I said, how, you know, if you attack them, it could lead to a lot of, you know, it could lead to a lot of dangerous situations. There's no reason to attack there, especially because like you have no pressure going on the next turn. So it just feels to me like, I don't know. It feels to me like that attack was a waste. He could have just had the ulti like straight up and then just passed. But that could have been another trigger too. Like that Thunderbolt was really bad, of course, but that could have very well been like something else. You know, like that could have been like a cracker and put him also in a bad spot. As you guys can see, it's just a combination of like what you discard, what you play, when you play cards, and like how you manage like the opponent's like hand size and like board advantage. Because right here he's just in a terrible spot. He has a bunch of late game cards. He has Kaido, Borsellino, Mihawk. He has 1 life and no board presence, and this guy has all the board presence in the world, and he's just gonna win right there. We're going to do video number 2. And if I remember correctly, he could have very well done a much better job in this video, and been able to win this game, or at least put himself in a better position. But I think he played a couple of things wrong. He had like a lot of Hound Blazes, if I remember correctly. And that's just, you know, that's just life sometimes. So right here, he's debating on which card to discard, right? And of course, but the easy answer is, of course, the Kuzan. Right, because you're going first, the first turn you have no plays. The second turn your play is ulti or brand new or Sanji's Pilaf, whatever one you have. And then the play after that, because your 3 Dawn turn, they're going to 4 Dawn, they're most likely going to Ohm and Holy, right? Or, you know, play as something for 4 cost. And if they do that, then your play is definitely not play Kuzan. Your play is remove that character off the board so they can't, like, so you can get into your late game and like easily build board while removing their board, so you can gain the board advantage. So at no point is this Kuzan ever going to be useful right here. But since you're going first, this Borsellino is going to be very useful because, you know, after your turn 5, your 5 Dawn turn, you can easily play it on curve and bottom deck a 5 cost with your leader effect, of course. So I think he's going to end up discarding the Toy Soldier, which is not great. Yep. Toy Soldier is not recyclable, so discarding Toy Soldier, he's gone forever. Not even Moncherie or Rebecca can bring him back, and now he just has a dead card in hand rather than a 2K counter, and he has no 2K counters in hand, so, you know, he could very well lose to aggression. So, of course, he's going to attack here, which I told you guys is probably not a great idea, because if he attacks there, then he could very well trigger into something, and that could, especially since he had no 2Ks in hand before this point, you know, that could have been, you know, he could have hit him for 2 life relatively easily. So luckily, again, that wasn't a trigger, and he goes ahead and plays the ulti and passes, which is the right play. It's just not, don't attack their life is the thing, in my opinion. So right here, he attacks 5 at life, which of course you take it, and then he's going to play the Ohm and the Holy. Like I said, that's the easiest thing to do. And now, if you think about it like this, guys, That one-legged toy soldier could have very, very, very much been a card you use right here on the Ohm, and then you attack into his life if you want to, and then you bottom deck the Ohm. That could have very well been an option. Let's see what he does here. But now he has double Kuzan. So double Kuzan is not really very good, obviously, because you're not even going to be able to play any. If he plays the Kuzan here, I think he's in a relatively bad spot because he's already at 3 life, and then Ohm and Holy and your leader are going to be able to do at least one more. And another Houndblaze is not the right call. So here, I'm not going to lie to you guys, right here is where maybe Kuzan would be valuable, but I still think that he should have gotten rid of that Kuzan earlier because the Toy Soldier would have also been just as valuable here. So he plays the Kuzan, gets it to Suru, and so what he could have done here is he also sequenced it wrong, right? He could have swung 5. He could have swung 5 at his life and minus the Holy by 1, and then he could have swung 5 at his life again, and then bottom deck the Holy with the ulti. But he sequenced it out of order. So because he played the Kuzan, that Kuzan very well could have gotten Thunderbolted. So if you're gonna play the Kuzan, you might as well wait until after you Thunderbolt, which I think he's gonna do that. I think he's gonna be able to play, or I think he's gonna go for that play if I remember correctly. Also, he put a Dawn on ulti before he attacked, so like realistically, he could have used that one Dawn for something else. But I mean, in this situation, it doesn't matter. But now you telegraph what you're gonna do, so it's like a small mistake right there. So if he was smart, he would take it and then just counter out of the other one, because if this is a Thunderbolt, then one of these is dead, which is not good. So not in a horrible position right here. Not in a horrible position at all for our... and this guy's smart, by the way, too. The Enel player is smart. If he just keeps taking this life, he's not in any worry of dying. He has like 9 cards in hand. He can use his leader effect. He has no board pressure. So like all of these hits that he's taking, he's just going to be able to keep getting cards to his hand, keep cycling out, with his leader effect, and eventually he's going to like trigger into stuff that's going to help like build board control and board advantage. So the Amaru right there is a good idea. Rest the Kuzan and then plus 3,000 to the Ohm. And this is actually not a bad play at all, right? So what happens here is he counters out of the 8K, but at the same time, it's not a horrible play, but it's also very, very risky, because if it were me, I could just boost the Shura up, because the Ohm is already at 6K because he has two or less life. So countering out of this is actually, I could see why he wants to do it, because he wants to force him to kill one or the other. But if I was the Enel player, I don't need to play a Sanji right here or a Cracker. Like, he's attacking 8K here. If he discards 2 cards out of his hand to be able to save the Ohm, I put 1 Dawn on the Kuzan. I put 1 Dawn on the Ohm and attack the Kuzan again for 7K, and he's gonna have to let it go. And then I put 3 Dawn on the Shura and then just attack 1K over the ulti, and more than likely he's gonna let that go too. So I can completely board wipe and get 2 cards out of your hand rather than play like a Sanji. So personally, I wouldn't have made this play. But he discards anyway, and it's gonna, because he discards these two 2Ks, it's gonna be a lot harder for him to be able to keep cards on the board later on in the game, because look at the hand advantage at this point. Like, look at the discrepancy, right? This guy has like 10 cards in hand, and then my beloved student right here only has 5 now. So he only attacks 6 at the ulti, which of course I disagree with that play entirely. I think it would have been better just to clear the board here. And then the Kuzan gets to live. And by him allowing the Kuzan to live, the double Ohm Holy is very good. But him allowing the Kuzan to live actually is very dangerous. And I'll explain why in just a little bit. So the play here is the Marineford to double use Marineford's effect to minus the Ohm by 2, the active Ohm. And then you Houndblaze the active Ohm, give Kuzan the plus 3,000. You swing into the other Ohm for either 8K or, more, depending on, how much Dawn is left. I can't really do the math right now. And then you minus, like, either you kill that Ohm or you don't, but you minus the Holy. And then if he saves the Ohm, you can Houndblaze the Holy and then swing into the Ohm again for at least 8K. So you literally wipe all 3 characters off his board if he's not safe, right? That is the play. that is the play. So what he does here is he does the holy, which is just the wrong play. So he's not going to be able to get the maximum amount of use off of his cost reduction now. Or maybe he does, but he just does it in like a weird order. I don't remember exactly what it is. But of course the play here is the ohm, the active ohm, and then you plus 3,000 to your Kuzan, and then you swing into the other guy for 8k. So you double 8k swing into the ohm, and then you Hound Blaze the other two, basically is the play. You might be able to swing for even more than that too, because double Hound Blaze is 4 Dawn, and it looks like he has 6 Dawn available. So yeah, you can go 9/9 at the ohm, which is really powerful. And right here he missed sequence. He Hound Blazed the wrong target. You're supposed to Hound Blaze the Kuzan first, just to be able to get the maximum amount of value off the Kuzan. So it's just small things like this, guys, that really help, like really end up like losing you the game. Rather than right here, obviously. I'm not trying to like laugh at you, bro. We already talked about this in our coaching session, but obviously right here you bottom deck the Shura instead of, you could have just bottom decked the Ohm with the Hound Blaze. You could have just left the Shura on the board, and with 3 life, like that Shura is really not causing you a whole lot of harm. But yeah, it's just small stuff like this that really just, it really like determines the game, dude. It sucks that that's the case, but like it's just the truth. A lot of times people won't be bad at the game. They'll just make like 1 or 2 bad decisions in a row, and it like leads them down this like rabbit hole of like, okay, because I made that bad decision, this is the consequence for that, and then it just keeps going further and further and further, and eventually you just like lose card advantage or tempo or just whatever it is, right? So basically this game is over right here. He has 3 life, of course, but he only has 3 cards in hand. This guy has like 9 cards in hand. He's got him pretty much right where he wants him. There's almost no out for what he has. He ends up losing this game, of course, as you can just tell later. I mean, this is the result, right? We're not gonna just watch the whole video just in the interest of time, but he has complete board control, and he like, even though he was able to like clear his board at least for like a turn, he has like his life buffer and so many cards in hand that it doesn't matter how much board control he has. Like or it doesn't matter if he can clear his board, he can always just keep popping out stuff and then like keep gaining life. So you just have no way of killing him. It's like a slow like beat down. I mean, you guys can tell, and like the board state hasn't changed in like a couple minutes. So with that being said, let's go to our purple Luffy game. So we're going to be doing this game against Sakazuki right here. This is the game because he played a mirror match where like he made like a couple like odd discards, but it's kind of hard to point that out in a video. So this is the more glaring one that I want to talk to you guys about, because with the hand he had, he could have very well won this game. And of course this is a supposed counter for purple Luffy, which it is, right? Sakazuki is a counter for purple Luffy, but he could have very well won this game if he played it a little bit differently. So of course that's smart, not going down or not taking that life, because you're gonna ramp either way, and you want to not be at 3 life whenever you ramp, to be able to at least keep some type of like life control, right? So attacking first obviously is the right call here, because you want to bait them into thinking that you're going to law, or I don't know. I mean, attacking first is always smart before playing characters. It's just the rule, right? Then he goes ahead and gets a Kaido off his life, which is a great card to draw, right? He's got double Magellan, he's got Kaido, like he's in a relatively good spot here. He has pretty much everything he needs to make make this tough on the Sakazuki. And of course Hound Blaze is a very good card, but sometimes you just don't got it. He lets go of the Kid, right? So the Kid is the worst one to let go here, right? Because the Queen or the ulti is just better overall, but Queen is actually the card to let go off counter, because the next turn that he does, he's going to Magellan again. And then obviously if he Magellans again, he's not going to be at nearly enough Dawn to be able to just Kaido the next turn. So the turn after he Magellans the second time, he's going to want to play this Kid rather than this Kaido, because the turn after he plays the Kid, he will have enough to go into Kaido. And then this +1 Dawn, as active, could really help. It could really be like Blast Breath, or it could just be, a 6k on top of a 10k or an 11k and a 5k with your leader and Kaido. So, and if you think about it, you're going to be playing Magellan this turn, right? That's the best play. This turn is play Magellan. So if you think about that, what is the only answer for Magellan when this guy's only going to be at 6 Dawn? It's going to be another Hound Blaze. So if he Hound Blazes here, you want to make him have as little value as possible. So attacking into this brand new right here is actually the best play, because you're like starving out the Sakazuki, and then if you can get that Magellan to stick, then the cards that you play after, you can very well play Ulti Page 1, and you can get those to stick. You know what I'm saying? So like it just feels like that is just a better play, rather than like what you're doing now is you're letting this brand new live. And if he finds a Hound Blaze, this is going to take more of your life every single turn, rather than like you starve him out just one turn and then play the Magellan. He's going to be at 6 Dawn. And then, you know, if he does Hound Blaze, great, but he's not going to be able to boost this brand new. He's not going to be able to attack twice. Counters with the wrong card there. And then he gets, of course, Hound Blazed, right? And then the Hound Blaze very well could have been, so he attacks with 5 at life there, right? And then he discards the 1 card, and then he's gonna go ahead and put the Hound Blaze on the brand new, and then swing for 6. And of course, you want to save this ulti in your hand. So basically, he just ripped 1 card out of your hand for free, because you're either gonna counter with this, or he ripped a card out of life, which is still not good at all. Okay, so 3 Dawn on his leader right there. That automatically means that you don't have any events in hand. Now, he does have an event in hand, which costs 0. So like, obviously saving the Dawn won't do anything. But right here, the play, of course, is to swing into the brand new once again, because you have very few cards in hand. And if he puts 2 Dawn on that brand new, he's going to take 3 cards out of your hand. He has leader, he has Hina, and then he'll have the brand new. So saving that Dawn up, even if it's a bluff, it will make him reconsider. 5k leader swing, like we talked about. Now he only has 4 cards in hand. And then, what is this? Probably another 5k leader swing, right? 5k leader swing, yep. And he's going to have to discard cards, which is not good, right? He's either going to discard a card or take this, which he's going to go down to 1 life. That's not a good position to be in. Hound Blaze, brand new. This is the 3rd time brand new is either taking a life or taking cards out of his hand, right? This is a terrible position to be in. This could have all been avoided if he just popped this on the first turn with a 5k leader attack. But now he has a board that has, you know, Hina, leader, and he has very few cards in hand. He's not going to be able to get through this, and he just loses right then and there. So obviously he's not dead yet, but the game is pretty much over. He's going to have to go into, I don't even think he has enough Dawn to go into Kaido next turn, and even if he does, it's not going to matter too much. So game's pretty much over right there. But yeah, guys, let me know if you guys like this video concept. I think this was super helpful for me to be able to coach my students on, you know, letting them know, like, okay, this is where you went wrong, this is where you went wrong. And like, you're just able to like you can talk game theory all day long. You can tell them how to beat these decks. You can do this, you can do that. You can tell them like optimal starting hands. But sometimes like showing them, okay, you messed up right here. Right. And then this is you messed up right here because of this. Sometimes that's just like infinitely more valuable. Right. You know, everyone learns a different way. But this is a really good way for at least the 2 guys that I talked to be able to like see, okay, this is where I messed up right here. But yeah, so I'm making this video for everyone else kind of seeing the same mistakes. If you guys do want to do my coaching, it's $25 a session. Join the Discord down below. And then obviously you can do more than just coaching on the Discord. You can just hang out with us and be a part of our community. But if you want to join our Discord, go to the coaching stuff tab. And then I have like a little calendar you can book through there. And then obviously we'll just meet on Discord. So much love to you guys. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.